So we're going to go back to Alzheimer's disease, where Dr. Guojun, who's also a distinguished professor at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, where his laboratory over the several years really has focused on trying to understand the disease mechanisms, focusing on one particular variant called ApoE that, as Rosa was mentioning, that increases your risk. But what you're going to hear about Dr. Bu's program is not only understanding the disease mechanism, but the great deal of investment that his laboratory spends generating novel models, whether it be animal models or what we're going to hear today about generating in vitro models of taking cells or organoids into a in vitro system. Just briefly about Dr. Bu, he's an incredibly accomplished Alzheimer's disease research and related dementia. He's published quite prolifically, over 250 papers, has won 2 exemplary awards in the field of Alzheimer's disease, the Zenith, as well as the MetLife. And so it's a great pleasure to have you here, and we look forward to your talk.
Thank you, Lynn. I also thank David for the invitation. So my job is to really describe how we're going to model disease, brain disease in particular. And you heard the genetics and clinical definition discoveries, but how do we understand all these genes Rosa and others discovered cause diseases? And if we were to develop medicine to treat these diseases, before they're ready to test in human, what model system do we use to test this medicine? So I'm going to tell you our lab effort to model Alzheimer's disease in particular, focusing on gene, as Len mentioned, called ApoE. So one disclosure, now relevant to today's talk. I have to say, brain is particularly difficult to model. My lab used to have some effort to study cancer, and not to say cancer is relatively easy to model, but we used to just do a few simple assays: proliferation, cell migration, in vivo tumorigenesis assay, putting some tumor cell to immune-compromised mice. Very sort of predictable way you study cancer. But brain is different. Brain is very, very complex. And just make sure I push the right button. You can see that there are different areas, as you heard, of the brain area that have performed different functions. But in particular, brain